I'm Tanya behind Imagination Art. I have a new video out every Thursday, as well as a website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Mewe. So be sure and follow me on social media to keep up with what I am currently doing and working on, as well as updates on videos. Also be sure to like the video and subscribe. Also click the bell to be notified when I have a new video uploaded. Today we will be going over the background for the other half of the Surreal butterfly and bee piece from the previous video with the dandelion in the background. So let's get to the tutorial. Okay, what I did first is I went in with my white and just kind of laid down some white over some areas that I wanted it to come out a lot lighter. And then once I had some white down on the page, I went in with my mauve or bluish purple and went in and began to just cover in the area. And as you can see, I'm being extremely messy with it. And that's one of the good things about these Faber Castell Aquarells colored pencils, is that you can be extremely messy with these because they just blend out so nicely. So none of the pencil strokes will be seen after it's blended out. Again, just continuing to get that pigment down on the page, get it filled in, get all the white covered up. Just trying to get pigment down on the paper and get it covered. Going over some areas that needed to be re-gone over and making sure I've got a lot of pigment down on the page, getting the dye saturation down in areas. And again, with these colors, you don't have to be exact. That may not even be the exact name. It's just, I don't recall what the exact name for the color was. But colors doesn't matter. What matters is your lights and your darks and your contrast, and making sure that you've got those on there good. Now what I've done here is I'm taking my small stenciling brush and some water and from a bottle of water that I had, and just using that water to blend out that watercolored pencil around the area. And again, as I said in the last video, these work really good for blending out really quickly and covering large areas, but the bristles are very stiff and tough. Okay, and now I'm going to just take my pencil and go around those edges and crisp up those edges, and then take that light blue pencil and go in and just put in a light coloring inside the light bulb, because you want to kind of give it that effect that you're seeing the sky or the background behind it through the bulb. And now I've switched over and taken my water pen and blended that out to make that look nice and smooth. Again, now doing the same thing for the other light bulb. Just going in and putting in a light layer of that blue down and then blending that out with that water pen. Or water brush, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, I got a little bit of that darker blue in on some of the other of the light, and that's not going to matter, because once you get this all filled in, it's all just going to become part of the image. So now I'm working on the metal part of the bulb where the electricity goes in, and I'm putting down the wiring that's wrapped around the metal part of the bulb, and then putting in some darker areas, using that water pen to blend that out and to make those areas really stick out. Now going over there and doing the same on the other bulb. Blending that out, and as you can see, it darkens up quite a bit when you blend it out. Okay, so now that I've got the bulb part filled in, now I've switched over to my black watercolor pencil and just kind of laying in some darker color there over the blue. And as you can see, I'm not covering the entire area because I want to leave some areas for that blue to show through. So I'm just putting down some black around in certain areas and putting it down just very lightly, not putting it on too dark, because as you see it, once you blend it out, it gets darker. And now I'm taking that brush again and blending that out. And then I'm going to switch over to my watercolor pen for edges to keep it from getting into areas that I don't want it to get into. And just taking that watercolor brush and going around the edges of the bulb and the edge of the picture to keep it from blending into areas I don't want it to go. And now I've switched back over to that stenciling brush for blending it out. And again, as I was saying before, these brushes are very stiff, and so if you use a lot of water with them, they're good for blending out large areas and very quickly. But they are stiff, and they will, if you use too much water, they will, as you saw in the previous video, start lifting off layers of the paper. Again, just blending that out with the water. Just trying to get it to blend it out nice and smooth, and as you can see, all the pencil strokes blend out. And as you can see, I left some blotchy areas where it's a little bit darker, and I did that on purpose to kind of give it the effect of, you know, it being a sky and having areas where it's darker, where there's areas, certain areas. Now I'm just taking that light blue and just going over the entire thing to lighten the areas up some more, giving it more of that nighttime sky effect. Again, using that water pen to blend it out. And blending it out some more. And again, I let each layer dry before I put on a new layer and blend it out. Now blending in that area around the butterfly and the bee inside the bulb. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm taking my white and just going over it, all the areas again, and lightening it up even more to give it kind of a grayish tone, but I still want those blues to show through. So we're just going to go over this with this white, and then we will blend that out. Blend out all those pencil strokes. You can see how much more lighter it made it, but it still gives it that dark night sky effect. And there were some areas where I wanted it to seem like it was just darker, like there was a shadow, and so I used that brush to kind of brush some areas to get some of that light to show back up through the dark. And you can see there where the brush just kind of had a little too much water, and so it removed. Okay, so now I'm taking my ruler and my black pencil, and I'm just putting in those lines of the wire going down to the light bulbs and wrapping around. And now I'm just taking my white again and I'm going to go around the edge of the wires to put in that highlight there, showing the spacing between the wire. And now going in and putting just little spots along the wire to make it look like it's like metaling going down through there. And now here's where I made the decision to carry over those seedlings from the dandelion over into the picture with the lights. And I drew in the little stems and then the little white puffs around them. I'm just continuing to bring those on over and put those in where I feel like they would look good. And there you have the thing. Hey, wait, don't go yet. I still have more to tell you. First of all, make sure that you click on that like button so that I'll know that you like this video and that you want to see more. Also, click on that subscribe button if you haven't already done it to make sure that you know when I have upcoming videos and to keep up with all my future videos coming up. Also, be sure and click on that little bell so that you'll get your notifications when I have a new video up. Also, I have new videos coming up. I have a new video out every Thursday around 3 p.m. and we'll be working on more content in the future. So thank you for watching and hope to see you around.